Teaching is a calling. It is a journey. Not everyone is cut out for it. It is a job that many feel driven to do, and one that can be edifying and deeply satisfying.
Fold Mountain.
Education in Garissa County fell to its lowest following the terrorist attack at the Garissa University College.
We don't find the value of their norm.
The incident sparked a mass exodus by hundreds of non-local teachers who left behind empty classrooms. Although it had been partly anticipated, the scale of the exodus was shocking.
It was a very painful departure. I cried, the student cried, but we had to. But later on, after 2 weeks, I came back, and it was a good reunion. I remember the chief calling me, told me, no, just come back, we will take care of you. The sub-chief did the same. We had developed a very good relationship with the people, the locals, and I was like one of them.
Marisa Okebe has been a teacher in Garissa County for 6 years.
Regular and irregular.
She teaches English.
The difference between regular and irregular. I have passion for teaching. I love teaching, and I love the children. I changes to you.
She says throughout the years, she's enjoyed seeing most of her students grow into responsible people in society.
Farmer. A farmer. What about Oniso? A shopkeeper.
But a lot has changed.
This school alone lost 4 teachers, so you can imagine a gap of 4 teachers. And by that time, when it lost 4 teachers, it was up to class 6. So meaning if I was considering up to this year, then we are 5 teachers less. 5. That's a big number. And up to now, we don't know.
Since she was a little girl, Grace Kasioka had always dreamt of becoming a teacher. On completion of her training, Grace's first job was at Bura Boys Secondary School in the far-flung Fafi sub-county. She was just a week old when the Garissa massacre occurred. Although 8 non-local teachers deserted the school citing insecurity, Grace decided to stay put.
I like teaching, so I was also sympathizing with this student. They could ask him now, who will teach us? Because I can remember the first week of the opening, I was the only teacher in the school. Then they could come to the staff room, they could ask me, how will their learning take place?
This equals to 1/5.5.
I teach mathematics and chemistry. I've stayed here for more than a year, and what I can tell the teachers who are potential teachers who are fearing to come to this region, I can tell them that there is no problem. So long as you have trust in God and tell God, you are the one who created me, you know my future and you know my life. Even if you are at home, you can die.
Okay, the difference that a die has physics.
The mass exodus ignited an education crisis.
Subject like business, we don't have our teacher. Physics, we don't have our teacher.
We'll do that one tomorrow.
The KCSE, yeah, it was very much affected. Like geography teacher, there was no geography teacher. And those students, they end to go without the geography teacher until they didn't for the exam, and they dropped.
We are only 2 teachers, myself and Mr. Evans. Then we have 2 untrained PTA teachers.
2 Fold Mountain.
Each teacher has 2 classes. That is, you are a class teacher of 2 classes. That means you have, like if you look at the TSC, you are supposed to have around maybe 28, 30. But here it goes beyond 40 to 50. Sometimes you find yourself in one lesson, you are appearing maybe in 3 classes. But now we have no option.
So we have those parts that end with NT or LT.
Plus the 2 PTA teachers. When we are in class, all of us, then 3 classes are empty, always. You give classwork and you tell them to continue. Or we have storybooks, we have textbook, you can give work.
According to Womankind, a non-governmental organization based in the region, 873 non-local teachers in Garissa County sought transfers to other parts of the country. The vast county has 25 public secondary and 182 primary schools. Proper learning is taking place in less than a third of them. Before the mass exodus, there was already a shortage of 642 teachers in the region.
The expectation was that the government through TSC will give us an alternative or give us a replacement for that. To date, it didn't happen. And the only portion that we were given for the whole of Garissa County is only 100, when we have lost already about 800 or 600 teachers. So that is the steps the government has taken, which is very, very little.
At Guya Primary School, some 66 kilometers from Garissa town, non-local teachers accounted for a majority of the workforce, but none reported after schools opened in May 2015.
Okay, welcome. This is our office. You can see the office that we have. Even it's not friendly.
Ahmed Dubat, the head teacher, was left to run the school alone.
I have been a teacher from 2001. This is my sixth year being a head teacher. I've worked in several schools. I worked in Nanig, I worked in Burra, I worked in Mansabubu, I worked in Garasweno. So I worked along this river line. And we never came across such kind of scenario.
Learning was paralyzed for almost 2 terms.
I had 4 trained P1 teachers, and some of them a diploma. So they left. We were faced with so many problems. Running the school was a problem because I was the only TSC teacher who was being left in school. Are you going to manage the school, or you are going to be a classroom teacher and teaching now? You take even more than 40 lessons with this hot scorching sun. Even we don't have water.
The school has over 200 pupils. The school's infrastructure is also wanting. The walls are crumbling and the straw roof is disintegrating. During the rainy season, lessons often have to be cancelled because water gushes into the classrooms. In a similar situation are pupils of Jambele Primary School, situated more than 90 kilometers from Garissa town. Head teacher Yusuf Nuhu is the only one employed by the Teachers Service Commission who remained. 6 of his colleagues declined to resume duty in May 2015.
5 female teachers and 1 male teacher. I was in dilemma, not knowing what to do, because I could not close the school. I could not get any directives from the ministry, from the TSC.
1 year on, the school is yet to get any replacement.
The response from the TSC and the ministry is slow. It is very slow. None of the teachers has been redeployed back.
The school was on the verge of closing down until Yusuf, who is also the chairman of the Kenya Primary Schools Head Teachers Association, Garissa County, rallied locals to salvage the situation. The school, which has an enrollment of 108 pupils, remains open courtesy of the dedication of 2 TSC teachers.
We have recruited local teachers from 4 leavers. They are not conversant with the syllabus. We need to give them inset program on how to go over, how to cover the syllabus. We have to give them at least 10,000 shillings each, which was also a burden to the parents, and still it is a burden.
The situation is even worse at Sankuri Secondary School. 13 non-local teachers fled, citing insecurity, leaving more than 400 students dependent on only 6 teachers.
Some subjects like agriculture, geography, we are not teaching because teachers are not there. So we are forced to. In this school also we had a computer teacher, and we have around 40 computers, but we no longer teach that subject.
Yes. In charge of?
4 teachers were replaced, but we still need around 9 more to be replaced.
We call it Malakul.
Some teachers now have almost 30 lessons, and in languages and mathematics, every day the teachers are supposed to mark, And this definitely impacts on the quality of education that the students are given. This year, Form 1 class was supposed to have three classes. But at the moment, we have only two classes. And one class is holding around 62 students. The space in the class is becoming a problem. I think even the few teachers who are there will have a problem in marking and giving individual attention to the students.
The education sector in the northern Kenya is now in a serious crisis, with the majority of students thirst for knowledge deprived due to an inadequate number of teachers in the region. The situation is worse in schools near the volatile Kenya-Somalia border, where schools are being run by 1 or 2 TSC teachers. Ali Dika was posted at Shimri Primary School in September 2015 after 6 non-local teachers fled the school.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, teacher.
An enthusiastic teacher who was eager to produce quality pupils, but a severe shortage of teachers has made already tough conditions even worse.
I'm the only TSC teacher in the school and the head teacher. I'm taking around 53 lessons per day, per week. That means in every class, I'm the teacher class 2 and 3.
Fractions of different denominators.
Ali Dida says the past 1 year has been a nightmare for education in the region, and worse still, there is no solution in sight.
I'm very tired. I'm unable even to attend some crucial meetings. If I leave, the school is in crisis.
What is multiples of 6? For example, you can be asked, what is multiples of what? 6.
I managed to employ three PTA teachers at the local level. They are just from 4 leavers. They don't have any experience. They are not enough because the school is from ECD to standard 8. Those are 9 classes. The ECD teacher that is there also is assisting us in upper classes.
Very good. Girls.
4 of us entered a class per lesson. The rest 4 classes are empty.
This is Fafi Girls Boarding Primary School, and here the reality is even grimmer. 5 non-local teachers failed to report to work in May 2015, citing insecurity.
The grey hairs you see here is not as a result of age. It is a result of the challenges and actually problem in the teaching fraternity. And at times, I even thought of, even I myself, leaving the profession. Because the profession looked abused, the profession looked completely politicized, and until you see the teacher, at the end of the day, the teacher is nothing, even in front of the children and in front of the community. So throughout last time, we were running the school casually, 2 teachers against 5. That means, to say the truth, there was no proper learning which was taking place. We were keeping busy the children.
Even after submitting all documents required, the school, which was registered in 2014, is yet to receive FPE funds.
We have processed the document. I have given to the DEO. The DEO was keeping me, telling me it is in process. But even last week, just to learn that we are not even in the system.
It's the only girls' school within the area, thus serving a large population that keeps growing.
I'm sure if today the Minister of Education could be here like you are here, or the director, he could have closed this school. Because a school without toilet, any wash program, you can see how thorny and bush it is. It has no any playground. Water is very less. We don't have textbook. You cannot call that a public school. The government is talking of girl child education, about avoiding FGM, a lot of good things to the girls, but they don't come down and see these girls. What they are saying is never with us.
If you go around, you'll see a lot of good girls and very good. They even don't receive sanitary pad.
Outdated and worn-out textbooks are often shared by 6 or more pupils.
It was actually hectic and problematic. It's a situation where I myself, the teachers themselves, sacrifice their little peanuts and they go and buy these books are not provided by the schools. You buy. You tell the parents to buy a book. They say, voila, is it not the free primary education? Especially the girls. The parents don't want normally to educate the girls. We were among the luckiest community actually to get this number of girls in a school.
According to the head teacher, the public school is literally run by parents.
Some of the parents are here to see the free primary education because we are telling them to buy exercise books. We are telling them to buy textbook. After we buy a copy like this, we just tell them, you can say, I have bought for your child. Can you also add another one so that he gets two?
Abdi says he's tired of making visits to various government offices for help.
We keep on submitting these returns. We have problems. We have not received FPE on monthly basis. But I don't know. Are they dumped in the dustbin? We don't know where it goes.
No, I'm not aware. But if there is any school which is not getting the money, it is the negligence of either the school or the DEO somewhere. But there is no school that had been refused to get the funds. I'm going to follow it up.
Our efforts to get a comment from the Bura Sub-County Education Officer in Fafi were unsuccessful as his office was closed.
And we learned about pretending to be. If you open your books on page 24...
The teachers hold the keys to a better future for all. They inspire, challenge, and empower innovative and responsible global citizens.
So the value of A is 2.
They get children into school, keep them there and help them learn. Every day, they help to build the inclusive knowledge societies we need for tomorrow and the century ahead. Yet, too many of them are teaching in circumstances of extreme hardship.
We are just only 2 TSC teachers. Huh? Can you imagine? Against 8 classes.
We have natural physical features and we have man-made physical features.
We have combined class 1 and ECD because of lack of teachers. And the 2 we have, those teachers who are handling lower, they also have subjects in upper. So when they give work here, sometimes they rush to upper and give them also work. So we put more effort on upper, those classes that are nearing examination. So working under such, stressful situation, I think it's not even good for my health.
When
Children are young, and it needs continuous reminding of those. Yesterday we learned this, and so if that consistency is not there, then they tend to forget everything. With the 2 teachers, what time will you remind and what time will you finish the syllabus? So the performance has really gone down, very, very much down.
The teacher-student ratio is still too high for effective learning.
Okay, good. Clap for him. Clap for Freda. Well done, well done. Try again another day. A very good boy.
When I go to this class, teacher come. When you go to the next class, teacher come. Now, how do you divide yourself? You look at them and you only sympathize. You feel you get a child who is not able to read. This child needs you as an individual. You give an individual attention to this child that the child is able to read. But with the current situation, you cannot give any individual attention, even if you realize that this child has learning difficulty. But you really don't have that time to give this particular child attention. This is a disease that is passed on, because now if I have a class now that cannot even get a mean grade of 200, it means this is going to be passed to next year. It means even when they do KCP, even reaching that 200 may be a problem. And again, if you look at my class 6 right now, if I would give you the list, number 1 did not even reach 200 marks. Number 1 had 160 something out of 500.
TSC is bringing performance control. What will you perform? You cannot perform. Will you perform with one teacher? A school of 1 to 8, you cannot perform with one teacher.
But if the teachers have suffered, so too have the children.
We had a lot of teachers. We had lots of them who are well-experienced teachers. But when the attack happened, we lost all of them. So when our former deputy left, things have changed to be worse. Because now, as me, I have not even understood the topic 2 of Form 3. I have not yet understood, and the exam is waiting for me. The exam doesn't know that we have not taught this. No, it doesn't. Class in the current Form 4s, we can say about 24 students are taking business. I'm the one of them. But you can see we are still in topic 2 in Form 3. We have not yet covered. That's one main thing that has happened. Another effect was about the biology. We didn't cover it well, just because the teachers ran away. But we congratulate our madam, our mathematics and chemistry teacher, that she didn't listen to what the other people were saying. But we like to urge the government and the county government also in Garissa County. We need them to bring so many teachers.
Form 4 leavers stepped in to plug the gap left by the non-local teachers, but that has not sufficiently addressed the problem that is killing the region's education sector.
Because so long as we are calling them untrained teachers, experience is far from that. So when you take this textbook and then you read and write on the board, it's different from teaching.
It's 4. 4 times 1? 4. Minus.
You cannot have a Form 4 teaching class 8 or class 7. It's a challenge, because these people are people who have left the school the other day. They are there just to assist, and thereafter they are looking for other jobs outside.
Parents have to dig deeper into their pockets to keep their children in school, a situation that is causing desperation and bitterness.
Kila mwezi sisi tunatoa kila wazazi shilingi 700. Na hiyo ametushinda. Sisi hatuna mishahara. Sisi ni watu ya kuchunga mbuzi na ng'ombe. Na mali yetu amechukua na ukami yote ameisha.
What will you do? Will you chase the child out of the class because the teacher wants salary?
Na serikali ulisema hiko na elimu bure na watoto asome. Tunajaza. Na tunakosa maalimu na tunakosa uwezo upande yote. Sasa lazima watoto utoroke. Wasichana alikuwa tuna hamu ya kusomesha hapo. Wengi yao sasa ameenda. Amekwenda kuolewa huko msituni.
The parents cannot overpay the teacher's salary of 6 teachers, that is 60,000 shillings each month. Cannot get.
The parent teachers associations, we are paying them 10,000 shillings since they are 3. The area MP he has taken promise that he will going to pay a teacher, but the rest 2 I'm just paying from my pocket. That is because the locals, the villagers, they cannot afford to pay. I'm doing because of humanity.
For secondary schools, each parent pays 1,000 shillings per month.
Fees payment, even as it is now, is a problem. So adding 1,000 more will definitely complicate matters for the parents.
Tunahongea usiku na mchana, tunalia na kuna kitu kimetokea.
Having education and not having education at all. So what do you do now? Instead of closing the school, it is better for the parents to pay something so that they can keep the schools open.
20th August 2015, hundreds of Garissa residents and civil society activists took to the streets to voice their concern over the growing education crisis in the region. The protesters presented a raft of demands and recommendations to the Regional Commissioner's office. Simultaneous protests were held in Mandera and Wajir counties. As the demonstrations were unfolding in northern Kenya, leaders from the region held a meeting with Deputy President William Ruto, officials from the Ministry of Education and Teachers Service Commission. To address the existing teacher shortfall, the Ministry of Education, in collaboration with Schools Board of Governors, promised to employ 820 teachers. The move to hire the teachers was therefore a reprieve to learners whose studies had been adversely affected. Rahma Dahir was among dozens of untrained teachers who were deployed.
Good morning, class. Good morning. Sit down.
It is a job she took with zeal and determination.
I finished high school in the year 2014. Mathematics used to be my best subject, so I decided to teach mathematics since I'm good at it. I decided to help the children, and the children here, they were poorly performing in mathematics, and they didn't have the teacher for mathematics, so I decided to help them. Division up, fractions. I can see them improving day by day. I can see them being happy, so I just want to see a smile on their faces.
Rahma has relatively little experience in the classroom
And then we have a half here. A half multiplied by 3.
and was not prepared for a daunting teaching load.
I teach mathematics lessons from class 1 to class 8. Upper classes, I teach seven lessons in a week. I was employed by the ministry. They are the ones who brought me here. We came here that time. Since then, they never paid us.
There was an additional pledge from the CDF whereby the Form 4 leavers like Rahma, who taught during school terms, would be fully sponsored to pursue teaching during the school holidays.
As we are doing that, the MPs, they promised us to pay our school fees. Till now, they have not paid our school fees. Some of my friends, they gave up and they left. Me, I decided to stay. I wanted to help the children here. They've seen they have the urge to learn. They need teachers. They need us.
With the promises we were made, we are not seeing it forthcoming.
I was, sustaining her, keeping her here through parent collection.
Though it's not a lot of money, it's a few, 3,000 to 5,000 for. Sometimes they don't even pay because these people who live around here are very poor. They don't have money to pay. Sometimes I go home, I pay for myself, I take money from my parents.
We had been asking the ministry, but we were told that the ministry the money has not been released from October last year. Sometimes if you talk to your boss and he tells you that this thing is from above, then what else can you do? You only wait and we see when it will come.
Most schools are struggling to keep the untrained teachers.
From here.
It's very much a burden and a struggle. Others bring 100, 200, 50. Others are orphans. Others are vulnerable. You can get a collection for 5,000 shillings. So the teacher will still leave the school, but the Kwana Shingo Pande.
Last time, 2 left us because of lack of payment.
I talked to the parents and we were thinking of having a fundraising because with this one, it cannot work.
Public schools have been hit the hardest. According to the TSC, Fafi sub-county is the most severely affected.
Recruitment of 8 teachers in Fafi sub-county, which was just a drop in the Indian Ocean. 8 teachers. Well, we have lost 94 teachers. What will you do? Where will you take that 8 teachers? The TSC is not understanding. It's not understanding what we are getting on the ground. I'm very much disappointed. Very much disappointed. Very much.
Balambala sub-county, out of 35 public schools, the trained teachers, the TSC, employed by TSC, are only 20.
I don't know what is going to happen the next 2 years. If something is not done, then I don't think teachers will remain, even leave alone the non-locals, even the locals.
We say teaching is a noble job, but actually not in our area.
We are frustrated. If working under such stressful situation. I'm a local. I come from these areas. I wanted to help these people of mine. But if the situation continues worse in this way, the government will not make any way to come up with maybe a staff establishment in every school, then I doubt if maybe I may even finish this year. I may leave.
I'm tired. I'm tired. With the situation, because we need a very conducive, situation for you to work.
The TSC kind of gave an open check to the northern region. Our county directors are the instructions that any teacher who shows interest in going to teach in those areas should be given preference and employed with immediate effect, so that we do not, the children of that of those counties do not suffer.
The crisis is a boon for private institutions, but only a few parents who can afford to send their children to private schools.
There are more than 30 private schools in this town, and all of them are taught by non-local teachers who have stayed here up to now. So part of the problem is also TSC. The moment a teacher is taken over by TSC, they know that they have the leeway to go to where they want and at the same time continue earning. So they don't want to risk their life if they can get otherwise.
Most schools have been recording falling enrollment due to the acute teacher shortage. According to the Garissa County Director of Education, 5,000 children have dropped out of school. The sight of the empty classrooms is disheartening.
Some parents, they say these days there are no teachers, even they decide even to take their children.
From last year, we have lost 31 boys. 31 boys in school and 38 girls who are now out of the school. We don't know where they are.
It means we are failing them right from now. We are killing their professions. Where will the leaders come from? Where are the doctors going to come from? Where are the teachers going to come from? Where are the nurses going to come from?
Students are not in school. They are outside school with a lot of free time. Then there's a risk of them involving in other crimes. So that is our major worry also.
The county government of Garissa has not been helpful to education, and we can say that they have done almost nothing to assist the problem. Wajir and Mandera are doing better than us because the county government has employed teachers so that their schools are well staffed.
County government officials refuse to comment on the education crisis, saying the docket falls under the national government.
This is just a whole number.
Tapping the local talent was one of the keys to creating a long-term solution to the crisis.
The government has come up with a plan to have Northeastern region get positions, the quota they take increased, so that as many young people can join teaching and be trained as teachers, and immediately they are trained and they have passed their exams and are registered, TSC will immediately.
We have 479 who obtained C-plane alone, who are now, we are looking if we can get about 100 of them now to take teaching, but many of the locals here are not ready to take teaching. And one of the main problems is that many of them are getting employment with the refugees, the organizations which are working there. It is a problem that will stay with us because other people are running away because of insecurity.
Strides have been made on the security front, and teachers want the government to find solutions that are bold, practical, and reasonable.
We have other civil servants who are working in our areas. What is driving now these teachers? In just Nanigi, which is just 11 kilometers away from us, we have nurses who are working there. They are working.
After 5 years, you are free to move to a new station. But it has really been hard because, like I was giving an example of a teacher who had been in Nanigi for over 8 years, and he had tried by all means to get a transfer back home, but it was not easy. Other teachers who have experienced the issue, it has really been hard to get out of Northeastern. So maybe that also was one of the factors that could have caused that. Hardship allowance is the same countrywide. Whether you are in Mandera, whether you are in Garissa, whether you are in Kano Plains, whether you are in Budalangi, it is standard. So again, TSC should also look into that.
The value of wine is 6.
place is not as bad as people perceive. Because even me, when I come, people tell me, oh, you are still in Garissa. You mean you are going back? Are you normal? So people see like something is wrong with me. The people are friendly. What if we all left? These are children, they are Kenyans. And something needs to be done.
The return of non-local teachers, particularly for secondary education, remains for many the best hope of securing their future.
Everything is okay. Now we are expecting the government, the TSC, to recruit teachers and deploy back.
6 TSC teachers left the school. Therefore, we want the immediate replacement of those teachers.
Money to be given by the ministry to the boards is realized. That is one way of attracting more school leavers to come to the schools so that they can at least get some income during the school days, and their tuition is paid through CDF, so that we can get at least 100 teachers every year who are going through the in-service. So that will be the best solution, because if we say that we employ our teachers from the other part to come back, because if a small incident happened, they are going to leave again.